Hello, everybody. Welcome back to You Know How This Ends, the podcast that reminds you every time you listen to it of who you are, whose you are, and gives you that hope to keep going, keep trusting. Know that the dreams and desires that you want, those goals that you have, they are yours for a reason. They are meant to be yours. They are already there waiting for you. It's just a matter of time. And today we're going to touch on a very interesting concept, especially for this time of year. And it's interesting because it depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking to, regular, I'm gonna say regular people, like they're fully focused on Christmas, right? If you're talking to business owners and entrepreneurs, they are focused on Christmas, yes, but they're mostly focused on their end of year goals, their KPIs, hitting their numbers, whatever it is, depending on the industry that you're in. And I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. It's really interesting because I've long ago, well, long ago, meaning like in the last couple of months, let's be honest, given up on this idea that of like hitting certain numbers. Like I've learned for myself that I do better when I focus on a feeling than on a specific outcome. And it's interesting because everybody's different. And so that's something that you'll kind of learn from just understanding yourself, right? And trial and error. And then you can also get some insight on that by understanding your human design. So, with your human design, you'll either be a specific manifester or a non-specific manifester. And if you're a non-specific, you're going to want to be more general. You're going to want to be more focused on a feeling, like what I was saying, than a specific number or a specific certain kind of outcome, right? And if you're a specific creator or manifestor, whatever you want to call it, then you are going to want to get more into the details of it. And I used to really want to get into like this much money, this many clients, this much hit, that whole type of thing. And I've learned for myself that I do way better if I focus on a feeling. And I'd say this is probably good for everybody to an extent, right? Because any goal that we have, we're always after a feeling. We always think that hitting that goal, hitting that number, having those clients, having that money, having that result will give us a feeling. But you can create the feeling without having the result or the number. And what's crazy cool is that the more you focus on the feeling and creating more of that feeling, the more easily that goal comes or something even better. So it's super fun to play around with it. It's something that I work with my clients on, individually and specifically in their lives. We look closely at their human design and their astrology and their goals and their desires, and we figure, okay, what's the real feeling behind it that you're looking for? Let's focus on that, right? So that being said, kind of that background, right? Like if you're entrepreneurial minded, which if you're here listening to me, you probably are. And we have our goals, right? Clear back in January, we set goals for the year. If you're like me, I'm a Capricorn. My birthday's coming up here in a couple weeks on the 23rd. And for me, those January goals, I'm always like, why are we waiting until January to set goals? I'm literally setting goals all year long. It's a part of who I am, climbing that mountain. But it's funny because I I will still say, I want my next client or I want my next deal or I want this much money or things, but I really release that whole idea and focus on why. What is the feeling that I'm wanting? Am I wanting to feel successful? Am I wanting financial freedom? And I wanting to feel validated and respected and admired? Okay, what are all the ways that I can feel successful, that I can feel validated and admired? What are all the ways that I can feel financially free? And there's a million different ways. I mean, no matter what your budget is, you can feel financially free by, giving a dollar tip, an extra, where there's really no tip expected, right? You can hand someone a dollar and tell them thank you. Like, wow, that's amazing. You can feel financially free by going out onto the sky at night and looking up at the moon and feeling that openness and that freedom and seeing all the stars and realizing, guess what? There are more dollars in the world than there are stars in the sky. And there's no reason why some of that can't be mine and opening up to that possibility, right? And if you are, if you do have finances and do have some leverage and some wiggle room in there, right? There's so many ways. And that's what I love about financial abundance is that the more money you have, the more good you can do in the world. I remember it clear back one of my very, very first mentors, Jody Moore, she said, if you're money just makes you more, and this actually was a different mentor, this was Allison Chavez said, money just makes you more of who you already are. So if you're greedy and if you're selfish and if you're an awful person, then more money will allow you to be more greedy, more selfish, and more awful. But if you're a kind, loving, generous person by nature, then having more money will allow you to be more kind, more loving, more generous. And then Jody Moore said, if you have some extra money, a little bit of financial wealth and freedom, then you can buy one person a hamburger. You can buy one person. You can buy that person that's always at the corner on Walmart, right? You can buy them a hamburger and give them a dinner or give them 10 or 20 bucks, right? But if you have a lot of money, then you can buy the whole homeless population of your community, or you can finance a surgery, a much needed surgery or medical procedure for someone. You can donate Christmas to a member of your community. Right? There's so much good that we can do. And the more money you have, the more good you can do. So we need to get more money in the hands of more people, good people, more good people. And that's what I'm so passionate about, is helping men and women create financial wealth, create financial freedom, and do it in a way that you're able to bring that income in passively, because nobody wants more money by trading more time, right? You're just trading time for dollars. If you've watched my podcast, if you haven't already watched my episode, I want to say it's 28. Let's look really fast and see what episode number that is, with Mitch Nelson. We just talked about it on our social media just earlier this week. Here it is, Velocity Banking, episode 21 with Mitch Nelson. That is such a beautiful episode about how to leverage your home, the equity in your home, to create more wealth, more cash flow. That's just one of the many, many tools and resources that we use in our real estate investing group, because we create real estate investors. You all know that I'm really new at this, and it's so exciting to see it happening in my life. And that's actually what next week's episode is going to be all about, is about us receiving our first check, our first profit from selling our first flip. And we have six more in the process, six more properties that we'll be picking up in the month of December. It's insane. Uh, and we want to create more wealth, right? We want to change things for our family. We want to change the way things are done. We want to stop trading time for dollars and start really leveraging and living life the way that are meant to, and helping and loving and supporting more people in the world. It's what we're so passionate about. And I'm so grateful. And I'm going to actually talk all about that in next week's episode. So make sure you tune in. But today, gosh, this is like a super beating around the bush way to come around to today's topic, because today I want to talk about how, those goals, those KPIs that you have for the end of the year, those metrics, those numbers that some of us are trying to hit, right? What's keeping you from hitting them? What's keeping you from getting them? It's only you. You are the only one keeping you from getting them. And here's the thing. Everything you want is on the other side of what you don't want to do. That's the whole cold, hard truth. Everything you want is on the other side of what you don't want to do. And I'm right there with you. Okay. So we are purchasing 4 rental properties in Kentucky. We're so excited. We are crazy. It has been a lot. We're doing loans for the first time on a property. Normally we use equity partners and private money lenders, but because of the nature of these properties, it's a 4-year hold. We're bringing in rental income each month and then getting a big chunk after 4 years after we refinance. It's a beautiful, beautiful deal. We're bringing in one equity partner for each property. And then we're doing loans, like just a regular mortgage on the property for the balance of the money, that's the cost for them. And I've been doing all this work for the loans and getting all the paperwork. Holy moly, it's a ton of work. It's like, taking up a half of my life, I feel like, just finding papers and documents and sending those in. And one of the biggest things that needs to be done in order to meet the deadline on these properties is talking to equity partners, talking to people in our community, in our group, in our investor group, who have funds, who want to invest, calling and talking to them. And I kept putting it off. And I kept putting it off, and I kept putting it off. And every day I'd be like, okay, today, no matter what, I'm going to take an hour and sit down and call these people that want to invest in these properties. And I kept putting it off, and I kept putting it off. And I would let other things come up that were more important at the time. But then every day I was like, oh, like I still need these equity partners, right? And I was getting stressed out about it. And finally, one day I was like, okay, what is going on? What is the deal here? This is the one thing that I need to do, the one thing that is left for this deal to go through, and I keep putting it off. What is the matter with me? And I realized that there was still some lingering fear and discomfort and trauma around asking people for help, especially when it came to money stuff. And I was doing everything except for that one thing that needed to be done that would allow these deals to go through. And I realized once again, and it's so funny, you guys will love this. I had been on the computer for several hours. My back was hurting, my butt was hurting. Like, you know me, I hate like just sitting on the computer all the time. Half the time when I'm doing business, I'm either, walking on my walking pad, out walking for reals, in my bathtub, on the floor stretching, right? And I had done plenty of that. Don't get me wrong. I had done plenty of like work from the bathtub and the floor and everything. But I had this just one day where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so like, I had a little pity party. My life is so hard. I have to sit here on the stupid computer and I have to find all these papers. And that's not where my joy is at, right? Like, I love being around people. I love being on stage. I love teaching and sharing. I do not love like looking up documents and doing all these like, menial, right? I love running numbers. Don't get me wrong. I love running numbers on deals, but it's a matter of like, all just that tedious documentation and numbers and different things. And I was having a nice little pity party for myself. And all of a sudden it was like I was this like outside person looking in and watching me, and I was like, oh, your life is so hard. It's so sad that you have to sit on your computer in your comfy sweats and a blanket drinking your yummy herbal tea. Oh man, your life is really, really hard. This is such a sad, hard life. You're right. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm such a loser. Right? I was like, okay, compared to all the people out there in the world who are working in awful conditions, who are, working without being well fed and who are in freezing cold and who don't have enough money to make their ends meet, like, wow, this is really hard that I have to sit on my computer in my comfy PJs, drinking hot tea and working on these properties that are going to cash flow us $500 a month each for the next 4 years and then give us a big chunk turnaround after that. Like, wow, wah, wah, wah. And I thought, oh my gosh, my me of 5 years ago, my me of even a year ago or even 6 months ago would have been like, oh my gosh, all I have to do is sit on the computer and pull up paperwork for 2 hours a day for 3 weeks, like, and I'll have this like, yeah, heck yes, sign me up, I will do that in a heartbeat, right? And now I'm whining and complaining about it. Like, what is the matter with me? But it was the one thing that felt hard that needed to be done that I kept putting off, right? Was this paperwork that I was finally doing, but then that really one thing was actually making the calls. And it was just such an aha moment for me of realizing, okay, I just need to sit down and do it. And so I scheduled out a 2 hour block of time on my schedule one day and I just started making calls. And guess what? It was amazing. I got to have conversations with awesome people. I got to connect with people who have the money, who are doing deals, and that's the person that I want to be. And those are the people that I want to connect with. And so it was this beautiful win-win situation of, oh my goodness, not only am I finding the money to be able to fund the deals now, I'm connecting and developing relationships with the people that have the money who are doing what I want to be doing, because eventually we would love to be money lenders, right? I'm connecting with old friends and business partners and people connections. This has been amazing. This has been like maybe the funnest 2 hours of my week, and I had put it off for months. And it was just amazing. And that big hard thing that we want to do that we're scared of doing, that we need to do that we're scared of doing, I promise you it's never as hard as you think it will be. Never. Never, 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 never. So my question for you that I posed to my clients the next day on our coaching call and that I'm going to pose to you today, what is the one thing that you keep putting off? That one thing that will bring in the deal or the client or the connection or make a difference in your personal life or with your health or whatever it is, or with your spirituality, with your connection to God, that will change your relationship, that will mend a hurt, mend something that has felt hurt, hard, or broken. What is that one thing that you need to do that you keep putting off? And I know you know what it is. I know it came to mind immediately and you went, ugh. Because that's what I did. I went, ugh, I don't want to do it. I'm there with you. I know how this goes. My invitation to you is sooner than later, maybe even today, definitely before the end of the year. Do that one hard thing. It will not be near as hard as you think it is. The pressure and the worry and the fear that you're feeling leading up to this will be 1,000 times worse than whatever the actual thing is. And the relief and the release that you feel after you do it will be absolutely incredible. What is the one hard thing that is keeping you stuck, that is keeping you in your story, that is keeping you in your hurt, hard, and broken, that is keeping you in lack, in fear, in doubt, in scarcity? Is it finally, having that hard conversation with a spouse or a parent or a child where there's been this tension, this uncertainty, right? And you just need to have that conversation. Please have it. Maybe it's someone I'm just like getting these so I don't know, for whatever reason. Maybe it's someone that you need to say sorry to. Maybe it's some guilt that you've been holding on to for the way you treated someone or how you did a business transaction or really anything, right? And you know that you need to apologize for it and mend that relationship and you don't want to because it's going to be hard and it's going to be embarrassing, right? Been there, done that. Maybe it's saying no to a job that's sucking you dry and yes to a new opportunity, like coming and joining me in real estate investing, right? Or another opportunity that's been presenting itself to you and that your heart is saying, yes, please, 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 please. Yes, yes, yes. And your head keeps saying, no, I don't know, maybe later, maybe after this, maybe next year. What's the thing that's keeping you stuck and that's holding you back? Go and do it. Put it on your calendar, make that phone call, do it right now if you can. If you can't, decide now when you will. And I promise it will be worth it. It will not be as hard as you think it is. And the reward that you will feel, the release, the relief, the satisfaction that you will feel after you do it, not to mention the results that will come from it, right? Whether financially, whether emotionally, whether spiritually, whether physically, whether mentally. Oh, it's going to be amazing. And it's worth it. What is that one hard thing? Go and do it. And if you feel so inclined, I would love to hear about it. I would love for you to call me or text me or DM me and tell me what you did. Or maybe like if you want to tell me what you did, just tell me like how it felt, right? And what came from it. Because I promise you put that energy out there, you be brave, you have that faith, that trust, that hope, that courage. You will always be rewarded for it. I love you. Mwah. Have a wonderful end of year. We will see you next week with the awesome, amazing story about our first profit check and how that all went down and everything. It's going to be amazing and exciting. And we'll talk to you soon. Come see me, come talk to me, come DM me. We meet every Thursday night, either online or in person, both out here in Vernal and down into the Salt Lake area. Would love to have you come and join us with our real estate investing group. Learn how to do it yourself without your own money, right? Without knowing how. That's what we do. We create real estate investors. So, love to have you come and join us for that. And maybe you're like, I don't want to do the real estate investing yet, but I just want to save money on taxes. I want to save money on my home, right? By saving years and years and hundreds of $1,000s of paying interest. Those are both things that we help people with. And come play with us. Come learn how to do it. That's what we've done. It's made an amazing difference in our life, and I am passionate about helping other men and women figure out how to do this and change their dynamic, change their families forever. All right. Love you. Love you. Mwah. Bye.